Hey guys, this is Chris Clothier with the Grind Podcast. I'm your host, coming with another hopefully powerful session. Hopefully we've got something good that's going to, that in the next 15 minutes you're going to write down some notes on and walk away saying, damn, that was another powerful session from Chris. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. If I miss the mark, don't bother sending me anything. If I nail it, send me all your accolades, all right? I would love to get emails from everybody saying that I hit it perfect. I'm kidding on that. You can tell me if it's not exactly what it is you want to hear. Happy to try and help any listeners that are listening to the Grind Podcast get exactly what it is you're looking for out of the podcast. So listen, this week I'm taking on a topic. I'm going to delve a little bit into something that we haven't really discussed yet, but try and help tie a point together that every position in your company matters. And we're going to look at this from a couple of different viewpoints, both from the owner and the team, and also from whoever's being served, the client, in our case, even a resident. But I'm going to start with this. This weekend, I went to a restaurant, a little bagel shop, all right, to get some bagels early in the morning. We're getting ready to go, and we've got a busy day this particular day, and a lot of sports activities, and the kids want something to eat that's quick and easy that they enjoy. So I said, I'm going to go get us some bagels. And I walk in to the bagel shop, and I don't read the sign on the front door as I walk in, but the sign on the front door is essentially saying that, there's really there's no wiggle room here. You must wear a mask inside of the store. They have a patio out in front, but I missed this, okay? And essentially what the sign says is if you don't have a mask, then you call this number to place an order and they'll bring it out to you when it's ready. I don't see it. Not a big deal, right? But I go in, and the manager from behind the counter, he sees and he says, sir, do you have your mask? And I said, no, I do not. And he says, I'm going to need you to wait outside. And I kind of turn around a little bit, and he says, there's a sign on the door. I apologize, say I missed it. Did not, not trying to cause any issues. That's your rule as a business. I want some bagels. I get it. So I will go outside. I walk outside, as I'm walking away, he says, hey, we'll have somebody come out and take your order. I said, no problem. I go out to the patio, and, a few seconds later, a server walks out, and she's going to take my order, and she's clearly agitated. There's just no other way to put it. This is not, it's not her finest hour at that particular moment and I would find out later why, but she's standoffish a little bit rude. That's okay. I give her my order. A few minutes later, she comes back, and I give her a credit card to go run. And a few minutes later, she comes back with the receipt, and I sign it, and there's no place to leave a tip. And I'll look at her and say, there's no place on here to be able to leave a tip. And she's like, yeah, we can't take credit card tips, only cash. I was like, cool. So I pulled some money out of my pocket. It was a good tip. I handed it to her, and she kind of looks at me, and she's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, they're a tip for you. And she's like, well, thank you very much. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you. And goes inside. Now, again, the experience I'd had with her when I was trying to place my order wasn't fantastic, but it didn't really matter. I gave her the tip. A few minutes later, my bagels come out, and it's the manager who brings them out. And he comes up to me and he says, man, that means a lot that you would do that you would leave a tip like that. He said most customers right now who don't have a mask, they're just, I guess it's not going to matter if I say the word that he tells me. He's like, they're just assholes. They're not nice. And he even said, I guess that she recognized, he says, I apologize if she was not the best server at the very beginning, because she was fully expecting that she was fixing to get a tirade about masks and get yelled at. And he's like, it's not her policy. It's not my policy. It's the company's policy. And this is what we do to work here. It's just, this is the environment we're in. And I told him, I was like, no, I don't have a problem with that. I said, I hate that happens. I mean, you get to make the rules of your business. But I did tell him, I said, I want you to remember this. I said, there's one lesson I can leave you that you can leave to all of your team back here. The customer is not always right. that person that's ranting and raving, I get there's a line that you don't cross, and all the line crossers out there, you just do your own thing, but there's a line you don't cross, but the customer is always the customer. And if you remember that they're not always right, but they're always the customer, try and put on the cheery disposition, try and serve them properly. If somebody's being rude, that changes the story. If somebody uses foul language, that absolutely changes the story. But, just to arbitrarily assume that because other people aren't nice, that this person's not going to be nice, isn't a reason to not be at your best. And so, he said, I completely understand. It's a great lesson. I'll make sure I tell them, because I told him, I said, look, there's a lot of people out there like me that these are strange times. This isn't a mass discussion. We're not getting deep into that, but it just kind of, it illustrated my point today that everybody on your team matters. There are no unimportant roles ever, from whoever owns the company to whoever puts the trash out at night. It doesn't matter. And it can be the exact same person. The owner takes the trash out. It doesn't matter. Everybody plays a role that is massively important. I'll tell you, in our company here, REI Nation, I haven't talked a lot about it on the grind. I haven't gone into great detail, but I'll tell you that when I go on the road and I speak at all these different conventions all around the country, some are big, some are small. I might fly in one day and give a talk and fly out the next, and some I go out and I've got to be there for 3 or 4 days and talk on panels and give talks, whatever it is. At all of them, without fail, there is discussion that people come up and want to talk to me and say, your team, the reputation that your company has, the way that it's not only developed, but the way they maintain it, the way that your whole team just hits this level of performance is, they don't use the word legendary, but they're like, it's just unfathomable. How do you do it? How do you guys keep this reputation that you've built decades building, but you keep it so strong? And they know there's turnover in the team. They know that the team has gotten bigger, that we've grown, that we are performing at a higher level every single year. And they say, no matter what, you still maintain this fantastic reputation. It's almost like mythical. Like, how do we get to that level to have that? And it's interesting because my answer is always the same. It's not me. It's not Kent Sr. It's not Brett. It's none of us as owners of the company. Not at all. It's our team. It's the fact that we help the team understand that every single role matters. For instance, whoever is overseeing a renovation job on a house, and we want our renovations to be perfection, and we encourage every owner who purchases a property from us to have that property inspected. And what we want is a perfect home inspection score. We score it ourselves. A perfect home inspection is when the inspector comes back and says, I really couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything that was major. You got a little minor thing over here, maybe something minor over there, but I can't find anything that's wrong with this property. That's a perfect home score, and that's what we're shooting for. When we get that perfect home score, do you know what happens? A resident moves into a home and everything is perfect. We have exceeded their expectation, because residents that rent a property, most are expecting or have experienced a, let's just call it, less than stellar management experience at that point. You know what I mean? That's the industry. It's not known for excellence in service. And so when they move into a property and everything works exactly the way they expected, that's reaching a level of expectation that I get credit for, but it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the gentleman or the lady who oversaw the renovation of that house, managed all of our teams coming through, all the vendors that come through and it's the person who went behind the home inspector before they arrived and said, before home inspector walks in, I'm going to check every one of these outlets to make sure they work perfect. It is a level that we can't get on our own, if that makes sense. The person who answers the phone on our team, and we've got dozens of them because the phones ring to multiple different, whoever answers the phone, the way they communicate with that person on the other line, whether it be a possible vendor that wants to do business with us, a possible investor that wants to build their portfolio with our company, whether it's even a prospective resident looking for, properties that may be available in that area, and how do they get a hold of the management company, how we answer the phone, how we treat someone on the other line, it matters. And it's not me that's doing it. I can't do it. I can go out and talk about how good we are, all over the country anytime, but somebody back home has to do it, and every job becomes important. No one is less important and no one is more important than the other. They all work together. Same thing with when we are looking to sell a property and an investor comes in and puts a property under contract. They begin to work with our contracts team. It's very, very important that the contracts team is in tune with that investor, but also the rest of the company. They have to know what's happening on the management side and communicate. Is the property already occupied? Is it set to close in a couple of weeks with a new resident going into it? What are the details of that contract? They have to speak with the attorneys and speak with the lenders and try and make sure everybody works in concert to have a very smooth closing. Our customer service team downstairs has to make sure they call every client every month, and they have to be in concert with the property management companies to know what's happening with those properties. Nobody in any business, yours, mine, any businesses out there, any business that we haven't started yet, they're not silos. You cannot operate independently without a connection to the rest of, the people within your company. Going back to the bagel shop this weekend, I told the manager that I said, I have empathy for the situation that your team is in. And I love being able to experience and be around great customer service. I said, the way that he treated me, the way he spoke with me is fantastic. Even the young lady that was a waitress, there was nothing negative. I couldn't knock him at all, but I told him, I said that the way that, if I were in his position, the way that you earn that long-term clientele, the way that you earn the loyalty of somebody that says, I'm going to come back here over and over and over again, is getting everybody on your team understanding a very, very simple concept. And that is that, and again, this isn't the customer part of it. It's the idea that every single person that interacts with a client of yours is interacting as you. Every single person works together. There is no individual. We don't operate in this silo where each of us are just kind of doing our own thing. All of us are working together. At that store, it's coming from opening the store up, whoever's responsible for keeping the store clean, whoever's responsible for putting all the coffee condiments out there, making sure they're all full, whoever's responsible for taking the order, whoever's responsible for delivering the order. We're all, responsible for different pieces of the puzzle, but when you put the whole puzzle together with a clean bagel shop, with a clean coffee station, with a pleasant experience of ordering and a pleasant experience delivering my food, it builds loyalty. It takes the whole team. So if you're getting ready to start a business, if you're trying to grow your business and you're thinking about how can I, I'm going to hire somebody to answer my phones, which is like a no big deal, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. It's a massive deal. Every single person you bring on to your team, you bring on for a reason. And the reason is to win loyal clients, customers for life, to have an experience for that person you do business with that is second to none, so they choose you over and over and over again. And the only way to do that is to help everybody understand that every job is the most important one in the company. You do that, you've got something special. Guys, I appreciate, again, you joining me for another episode of The Grind. I don't know. I don't know about you. I appreciate all the emails you send me. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. I hope we're enjoying it. We got a lot to share here. And I can only assure you of one thing. It's that I will be here again next week, trying to bring something of value to you. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing for us. Until then, commit to the grind. We'll see you soon, guys.